Hello. HBO have just committed to spending £1 billion on their new mini-city, which they are planning on adding into the existing studios at Leavesden. Now, from what I understand, this mini-city is going to contain completely new sets. From what I understand, they're not actually going to use any of the old sets that they used for the films, which presumably is a good decision. I mean, firstly, they're not exactly short of cash, and I think the total budget for this entire show is $4.2 billion, which is somewhere in the region of 3.15 billion Great British pounds. So, I mean, with that sort of budget, why not go to town on making fresh and more detailed, authentic sets? It's been confirmed that they are building a new privet drive in the studios, which is apparently going to include Tudor-style houses with full-scale exteriors. Now this is exciting, because basically in the films, they never actually built more than a set for 4 privet drive and maybe like half of the house that was next to it. They then used CGI and other techniques for it to make it seem like it was on a full street. Or at least that's with the exception of the first film where they used an actual street in Berkshire. Now for the TV series, they've built or are building a full street with several houses. The benefit of this is that as they delve further into the story, they'll be able to use wider shots and make it feel more real without having to use CGI like they did in the films. It'll make it feel more real, and also it'll be more suited than what they had for the films, because they're going to be using it much more, one would expect. As mentioned before, in the first film they used an actual real street in Berkshire, but after that they used the set that they'd built but only used it in films 2, 3, 5 and 7. Whereas in the series, they'll be able to use the set that they're building for every single season. After all, number 4 Privet Drive is there at the start of every single Harry Potter book. Now, it's not actually been confirmed, but one would presume they'll also be building more immersive, realistic, full-scale sets for other locations like Hogwarts, Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade. Now, this is so cool. The sets that they used in the films for these locations were awesome, but a lot of them weren't fully built out. They were just small sections that they needed for filming. It makes complete sense that they will be building larger, more realistic and more believable sets to support a series that will film over 10 years and presumably have something like 3 times the screen time that the films had. Using the same sets for the same locations in every season will help with continuity as well, something that in some elements the films didn't fully achieve. In the film, several sets and filming locations completely changed as the films progressed, like, as I mentioned before, Privet Drive, but also Hagrid's hut, the potions classroom and the Hogwarts courtyard. So this is pretty exciting stuff. After they finished filming in like 12 years, I wonder if I'll be able to go and live in one of the Tudor houses on set. Now, aside from sets, this mini-city is also going to include a full school for the children on the cast, which is so cool. In the films, I believe they just used tutors that were brought in, but a full school for the cast is so insane. I want to go to that school. More than I want to go to Hogwarts, actually. I'm joking, but imagine being a teacher in that school. It's going to be so hard to keep those kids focused. Chaotic. On a serious note though, it's good that they've got a school because those kids should definitely not abandon their education. Some of the child actors from the films have since vanished from TV and film. It's always good to have a backup. Anyways, I digress. So aside from a school, there's also going to be a medical centre. Lucky them that they won't have to wait 6 months for a doctor's appointment. And a huge animal handling facility. And last but not least, drumroll please, a multi-storey car park. Ooh, exciting. Anyways, I'm so excited for this. £1 billion is a huge amount of money, so it's a good sign in the sense that they've got the budget to build the most incredible sets. £1 billion is like almost a third of the entire show's budget. Speaking of the budget, by the way, £3.1 billion is crazy. It will be the most money that's ever been spent on a TV show in history. If they stick to their budget, we'll be looking at something like £56 million per episode. Bloody Nora. For context, this budget of £3.1 billion is more than the GDP of like 40 countries, which is so nuts. Even the per episode projected spend of £56 million is more than the GDP of Tuvalu. Per episode. That is crazy. It's also miles more than any film has ever cost. So it's set to be the most expensive piece of TV or film in human history. Wild stuff. The question for me is, are they expecting to get their money back? Are they expecting to make a profit? I mean, yes, I would assume they are absolutely expecting to make a profit. Will they though? I think probably. It's not going to be easy to measure though, because as it will be exclusive to HBO Max's streaming service, it's never going to be very easy to measure exact revenues. I think it's more about how much the subscriptions to HBO Max will increase after the show is released. I, for one, will be subscribing for the show, so that's one extra subscription that they've already secured. But yeah, it's not like films where you can accurately measure box office ticket sales. If it is a success, the revenue streams will just multiply exponentially though. Spin-off shows, more merchandise, the studio tour will pop off even more, as presumably they'll create another tour for the series one day. There'll be more games, etc, etc, etc. It'll probably never end, to be honest, if it's successful, which is great for me, but I imagine it will get quite annoying for people that don't like Harry Potter. Anyway, so yeah, they have absolutely got the money to splash out on this. Let's hope this mini-city will contain as many full-scale sets as possible of locations like Diagon Alley and Hogwarts. I'll be following this story quite closely, as I'm interested as to what else the mini-city is going to contain. I wonder if there'll be a McDonald's. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, drop it a like and subscribe to the channel for more.